let's go ahead and hear from Chris Ash. Chris Ash, look, I thought I would never see a defensive coordinator give you less than Al Golden. Never in a million years left did I think we would have a defensive coordinator talk to the media and give the media less than what Chris Ash has given the media this season.
Less?
Dude, Chris Ash is basically giving you, man, he has to have the most modern coach speak booklet that he's memorized. He has to. Have to, bro. It is insane. Every time he speaks, I just shake my head like nothing. Yep. Well, he gave us nothing. It was no different. Absolutely no different. So here's the defensive coordinator, Chris Ash, talking about what he wants to see from his defense and, you know, some other coach speak stuff right here, Lucky Lefty podcast. Oh, man.
I just want to see him playing really hard. The effort's got to come through on film. I want to see us be fundamentally sound, situationally aware. Don't want to see the team beat ourselves, and we want to take the ball away. You know, those are the things that we want to see every single Saturday.
You mentioned taking the ball away. That's been a hallmark of this defense for a few years. How critical is that to the success, the overall success of this program?
Yeah, it's for every team. You know, every defensive coach talks about it. Everybody works it. But it's another to go make it happen on game day, and these guys have done a great job of that. It's about the habits that you build every single day, the year-round commitment, getting that done, and hopefully those results don't change.
You know, your first year at Notre Dame, what do the emotions look like now going into the league?
Well, to start, being here at Notre Dame is a tremendous honor. I'm really privileged to have this opportunity. I can't wait to go be a part of this organization on game day and see these players go play for each other and play really hard. And just go out and be the best that we can be. And just to be a part of that is really special. And I'm really humbled and honored to be here.
And Marcus Freeman talked about Donovan Hinish being a standout guy. What have you really seen from him so far?
He's just consistent every single day. He's a guy that shows up. You can trust him. He's going to do all the hard things, and he's going to do them consistently. He's just always doing what he needs to do to get better. And he's just for everybody else just by what he does.
Okay, Left, what did he give you?
A bunch of nothing. I mean, he just so, I guess, even kill or whatever you call it. I mean, it was crazy.
I told you, ladies and gentlemen, I know Al Golden would literally just not give you anything, but I'm here to tell you, if a whole season of an entire season of Chris Ash, whew, that was 3 different questions that I pieced together for like a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be painful for him. It's gonna be painful. I think a little bit. He's just being a little coy. He's trying to be the new guy. He don't want to speak too much, I guess. But man, he doesn't make it convincing or get the fans riled up about just how special the team he's coaching with. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's not about what he says in the press conference. We're not going to score any points or get any sacks during this time. And I think it speaks a lot to just the professionalism that Marcus Freeman has in the building. These guys have been there and done it before. So Chris Ash, especially coming from an elite, top, phenomenal program coming from Jacksonville Jaguars, he understands. He gets the media takes. So he's going to give the breadcrumbs out because that's what he's been trained to do at the highest levels of professional sports, especially football with Jacksonville. So I'm excited to see his excitement grow over the season and how we, win games and be consistent. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot more to say when we play better teams.
One of the things he talked about is something that I think he walked in and inherited, and that's playing hard. Like you already heard Marcus Freeman talk about his team on the pivot. They're not going to give up. They don't give up. And that is something that I think he kind of inherited. I don't even think he had to come in and talk to this team about playing hard, never giving up, running to the ball. That culture already exists. Al Golden did a great job. We're going to hear from Drake Owen. We're going to hear from Adon Schuler talking about the high level of communication and how their communication has gotten even better. So people question whether or not this defense, because of what they lost, and some really good players, Xavier Watts, Riley Mills, Howard Cross, can they be just as good or even better than they were last year? And I'm going to say convincingly, if I were a betting man, I would lay my money on the side of a definitive yes. This defense is going to be better. All right, Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's get to the other side of the ball, because Chris Ash, he gave us all that he's going to give us. All right, let's get to Mike Denbrock. And Mike Denbrock was asked about, what do you have in your starting quarterback, CJ Carr? What do you have in this youngster, this redshirt freshman?
Well, I think we're all going to find out, right? I'm just excited for him. I know the type of work that he's put into giving himself this opportunity. We're as anxious to see this whole thing as every Notre Dame fan that's out there is anxious to see it. And we'll give him the tools necessary to be successful. But really, success for us is equates around team glory. And if that's a 1-point victory, we'll take it and run like our hair's on fire.
You said you would tailor the offense around whoever won the job, their strengths, and try to mitigate the weaknesses. How has that gone to kind of make those adjustments to tailor to CJ's strengths?
Yeah, really smooth. I mean, I think, we got a lot of, as I talked about before, we got a lot of information on both of those guys during fall camp and kind of gave us a little bit of a head start on what their strengths are, because everybody who plays the quarterback position, their eyes kind of see certain things certain ways, and guys have ways that they kind of progress through reads, or they're maybe a little bit quicker at this concept than they are at that concept in the passing game, whatever that happens to be. We just have to make sure we're put in the best position to use their strengths to our advantage.
Yeah, he sums it up pretty much. Just use his strengths to advantage. The kid has confidence. So can he meet that moment when you call that big down the field play that everybody knows is coming, and can you complete the football? Well, all the things that they talk about CJ Carr, you expect him to be able to do that. And we're not asking him to throw it 30, 40 times a game. That's the thing that I think Denbrock will keep an eye out for. One, for the weather, and two, just because he's young. I'm not expecting CJ to have 35 attempts a game. That changes the course of a football game. That's when you get into the Pat Mahomes and the Baker Mayfields, where Shador even threw it 50 times in a game. Well, that's when you know you're a quarterback-driven and led team. Fortunately for us, we don't have to do that. We got Jeremiah Love, Darian Price, Aeneas Williams, Nolan, Jadron Payne, Jaden Gray. I mean, the names go on to where we don't have to play like Miami did last year, or Cam Ward had to have 400 yards and 6 touchdowns to win. We don't need that. That's a great role for a guy like CJ, who already has the confidence to just go in there and do his job at a high level. We're talking about 21 passes, 23 passes at the most. Now, you could do a big damage doing that, throwing some screens, a couple down the field shots with the one-on-ones, maybe a good dig or over on play action or something. I don't think Denbrock's going to put him in a position where he's calling pass plays for the run. Well, we're so in that running the ball, we can't do anything that we have to throw it to run it, essentially. That's not us. 20 to 25 times, me and you, Shaun, can go out there right now and be all right. We just got to look the part. Go out there, yell a little bit, get lined up, right? Hustle. All right, guys, let's go. Get the first down. Yeah. I mean, that's our part. Even the pass plays he's going to have are going to be one-on-one situations, a deep post, a go route. safe down the field throws. Because what is Miami going? Is Miami going to force us for CJ to play fast? I doubt. Now, can CJ possibly, like any other first day starter, go out there and fumble the ball maybe early on, or throw a crazy pick, or something unfortunate happening? I'm sure we planned for that. I don't want to get on Twitter. He throw a first pick of the game, first quarter, and I got all these Miami fans tweet me, "Oh, I told you, he's sorry." No, I mean, I'm built for that to happen because it's the kid's first time. Anything happens. But by the end of the game, I'm sure the scoreboard and his stats will be different than the first fumble snap or something. I wouldn't be excited for a Miami fan if that was to happen, But Denbrock, I think he's got it. He's not going to overwhelm this kid. Clearly, he wants to take on the whole world. And hell, with an offensive line like that and a running game like that and some receivers that can ball, I'll be talking a lot of stuff too. So this is just an exciting moment for them to come out, and I just don't think the environment is going to be the same as Texas A&M last year. So, what are we really expecting? We just want a hard-fought game in the start of the season, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the things we really need to think about this matchup, Love, is whether or not it's going to be difficult from a sound perspective. I just don't remember Hard Rock being that loud watching college football games. I've watched a lot. I love Cam Ward. I watched a lot of Miami football last year. And I just don't, from a sound perspective, that's what I worry about. Like, can the quarterback hear? Can the young quarterback communicate? Especially in this game, I would venture to say that Ashton Craig is going to be a high-value player in this game with checks and making sure that the offensive line is flowing the right way, because we're going to get to some things that Minnesota likes to do that I think is going to be very important that the quarterback, offensive line are lock in step as far as picking up blitzes and things of that nature.
That's what I'm saying. You also have an experienced group of guys that have somewhat played together, somewhat been out there before. So even down to the pre-call checks, CJ probably isn't going to be very responsible for in terms of first game. I doubt he's going to be in full control of the protections. I'm sure the O-line is going to handle a lot. I mean, really, guys, this is not a walk in the park for CJ, but this is way more manageable than being in another program. I mean, good grief. Just imagine if CJ didn't have an O-line at all. Like, it was just like Miami's last year or Shador's of 2 years ago or DeAndre Francois' first opening game against Ole Miss a couple years ago, where it's just like completely terrible. Well, that's just not CJ's situation. We can run the ball. If anything, CJ's going, conversely, they're going to come out with the story of he's ahead of his time. He's such a great leader, man, and manager, because he's going to go out there and play good with everything around him, and it's just going to make him look better. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just excited to see this finally come to fruition. I've been speaking a lot about how good we're going to be, but Sunday night will just prove it.
And it was cool to hear Denbrock say, "Yo, we're just as excited to see what he's going to do as Notre Dame fans are."
Yeah, it's your first game.
Yeah.
No script.
Yeah.
You out there just raw. Let's see if you.
And you know why. You know the real reason Denbrock is excited, bro.
Yeah, he wants somebody to be a reflection of his calls out there now. He wants to see that ball.
He gets to pull that real playbook out the attic.
Yeah, the thing has been dusted off. He probably had to reprint some of the pages because, over time when they was in the dark for so long, the ink fades. So he had to redraw some stuff. He had to patch some things up, tape some staples, some stuff, some bundles together. Because, he had to tuck it away for a good while. Remember, the playbook last year was comic book thick and comic book laughable. So now we get something a little deeper, something with the big three, the 3-prong binder. You know what I'm saying? One of them big binders and stuff. So apparently CJ's, like I said, ready to attack it all. And for a confident guy that's never played, that likes to throw the ball downfield, that's great ingredients for an excited Denbrock to call some things down the field. Now, he's not going to give him empty sets, just everybody go deep, play jackpot, but there's going to be some one-on-ones with Malachi Fields, some one-on-one with Jaden Greathouse that at least we'll have a better chance than 50-50 last year. Remember, last year, Riley Leonard was saying, I'm going to throw it up and guys are going to make me look better.
Yes, he did say that. He did say that.
Somebody's down there, they're going to catch it with my jersey on. That's what he was sending kites out there. He was hoping. So hopefully if CJ can be any better than that, like remember, guys, we're just asking for an over 3,000-yard pass. In the year 225, that's not even average. That's like getting in the door. So his expectation bar is very low, which makes it also exciting because he can raise it so fast, and it's just, it's going to be a media firestorm.
Whew. So once again, 6:30 p.m., Hard Rock Stadium. Notre Dame, number 6 against Miami. They're a 2.5-point favorite over at FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app. Just simply go to FanDuel.com. Let's hear some more from Mike Denbrock. He talked about being excited about CJ Carr and finding out, like everybody else, excited to see what they have in the young man. But one of the things that I think we talk about CJ Carr, and I want to put this out here right now so we can get it flowing in the chat. Everyone in the chat, give me your predictions for the stat line for CJ Carr in this game. And whoever is the closest or hits it on the head will receive a free Lucky Lefty Spin It Different t-shirt that features none other than the original Lucky Lefty himself on the front, because you already know
you gotta do it better. The stat line's better than the stat line I put out there.
Woo, I don't know if he could up your stat line against Texas, bro. That
was dead on. That was dead on. Yeah, that was dead on.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking not my stats. I was saying my predictive stats for his line.
Okay. All right. So put it in there. And whoever gets closest will receive a free t-shirt next week. Lucky Lefty and Fashion Geek. Mike Denbrock had this to say about CJ Carr ahead of his first career start for the Fighting Irish.
Really excited about his eagerness to kind of dive in deep end, and he wants a lot of responsibility. He wants it on his shoulders, and that's obviously what you want from someone as competitive as he is, and plays the quarterback position. But we're going to ease him into this thing, and he can handle a lot. But with the atmosphere being what it is, playing on the road, first game, all that kind of stuff, we'll be a little bit cautious with how we approach it in the beginning, and kind of see how this thing gets rolling.
And then what did Sullivan and Kirby do well in camp that's kind of put them in this position?
Yeah, I think they're just both really competitive guys that both have shown the ability to start at right guard and do some positive things, both in the run game with creating some space and some movement up front, but also with their pass protection. I think both of them have come a long way where that's concerned, and it's something that will get sorted out here in the next day or so.
Yeah, Denbrock's no fool. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, CJ Carr is not the number one pick of the draft, generational talent. Just throw him the keys and anything can happen. He knows he's got to get him warm. I feel like CJ is a quarterback that if he gets hot, okay, you feed him. You know what I mean? He hits a couple and get him rolling, but I don't think he's just out the package. Let's throw the ball first drive 7 times, and so Denbrock understands what he's dealing with. A kid that, if you build it up the right way, it'll take off how you want it to. I think that's his game plan. Because I think he also can be a quarterback that if he misses early, it can get worse late. Now, I'm not saying this can happen. It's just coming from what you hear, comparing it to quarterbacks to similar tasks and stuff. That's why I'm trying to let everybody be halfway okay. Not okay, but not heartbroken if he has an early turnover. I mean, if you hear from the camp stories and watching the spring and hearing from, he's gonna have some turnovers. That's just what it is. He's gonna have some turnovers. He had 3, just one after another, and but I think that just comes with the confidence, comes with the ability. So Denbrock probably understands that. He's like, man, if I just give it to him too early, he can literally throw us out the game, essentially. But when you have running game, listen, we run it enough, they're going to have to respect it, and you're going to get everything open for you that you want. You can even hold the ball a little bit because you got a whole line. So I'm just super confident that he's going to be in the position to succeed.
Yeah, we're going to get to some of the things that Notre Dame can do to attack this Miami defense and what their defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman, likes to do and what he's going to bring over from Minnesota. Minnesota had a very underrated defense. Very underrated defense. If you go and watch their game against USC, they held, I think, Penn State to their lowest total on the ground against Big Ten competition. And then they just totally dominated Virginia Tech defensively as well. So we're going to get to that because I think even with him coming over to Miami, it's a lot of things because of the wealth and the riches of talent on Notre Dame offense, especially at the skill positions. They can literally break Miami down by the time it gets to the third quarter. By the time it gets to the third quarter, and then it's lights out.
Because, I mean, you're talking about a physicality piece that, especially with the weather conditions where it's almost unavoidable, we're going to run right at you because it's almost too wet. So the scheme can be great, but after a while, them boys will start ducking out the way, and it's not because they can't be physical. We just have so many guys. I mean, literally, we're talking about Miami has to be a top 5 defense, top 10 defense in this game. And the way to victory for Miami is dependent on guys that just got there that are transfers. So is Miami making those transfers better, or is Miami dependent on the transfers to win? See, Notre Dame is a little different. Not only are we getting starters from other places as transfers, but we're making those players better. Yes, there's some transitive value they're adding to us, being starters from other places, being good in their situation. But Notre Dame is also very much helping them too. Can you say that for Miami? Literally, can you say that for Miami? I mean, can Miami win without Carson back? Not this year, especially not against us. But we know that Miami's feeling good because of who they got as transfers. So to rely on guys to win a game with guys that just got there, they're just not there yet as a program, which is fine. Shoot, we were in their shoes 2 years ago. So are we playing the real Miami, or are we just playing transfer you? Because that's what college football is. We're playing a team loaded with a good amount of transfers that they're dependent on winning while they bring up their young guys. But we're past that as a program. We're adding transfers as a luxury. You add Devontae Smith, that's a luxury. You add a Stroman, that's a luxury. So we'll see what happens.